This is an apartment building called the Wilshire, a pretty unremarkable apartment building on 30th Street in Kips Bay. But prior to this being here, there was a truly remarkable building here, one where some of the greatest music of the 20th century was played and recorded. A Presbyterian church had been built here back in 1875. Over the years, different denominations would use the space, including a German Lutheran congregation and the Armenian Evangelical Church. In the 1940s and 50s, a radio station called WLIB began utilizing the space. In the late 40s, in comes CBS, also known as Columbia Broadcasting System, who turned it into a full-fledged recording studio for Columbia Records. There were 3 studios, but the famous one was the former church hall. Known as Studio C, it was 55 by 97 feet large with 50-foot high ceilings and could accommodate up to 100 musicians. But beyond its size, it had an amazing and distinctive sound that became part of the identity of Columbia Records music during this time. Thanks to its origins, perhaps also due to its vaunted reputation, the studio became known as The Church. As a main studio for Columbia Records from the 1950s to the 80s, many famous recordings were made here, including most of Glenn Gould's classical recordings of the 50s and 60s, the original cast recordings for West Side Story, My Fair Lady, and other musicals, Percy Faith's hit version of Theme from a Summer Place, numerous early Bob Dylan albums, Muhammad Ali, Johnny Cash, Tony Bennett, Ravi Shankar, and the orchestral parts on Pink Floyd's The Wall. And 2 of the most beloved jazz albums of all time, Dave Brubeck's Time Out and Miles Davis's Kind of Blue. But those are just the tip of the iceberg. Much great music was captured here over the years. Sadly, by the 1980s, CBS decided the old building had become too expensive to maintain as a studio, and they left in 1982. A few years later, it would be torn down and replaced with this apartment building. There's no plaque here commemorating this amazing studio, but we do have the recordings, allowing the gorgeous sound of the place to live on and on.